Yo, so like Joe said earlier, them drums on Story to Tell by Biggie, anytime you hear anything that has drums like that, you're gonna give it a listen and give it, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna perk your ears up and it's kind of hard for them to mess that up because that drum pattern is just fire.
Yeah, I love it. Oh man, it just hits, man. It hits different than any other beat every single time.
And even just the way he hit it, it's like that was like I specifically remember being a kid and hearing that song for the first time. Like the beat hit, you know what I'm saying? Like the way the melody and the drums is like, oh damn, this is fire. And then he starts rapping and like the way the whole song unfolds, it's like that's like one of the things that made you a Biggie fan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely
you found a way like just to have those vowels like slap at the same time as that shit slaps. Like
he's one of those rappers that if you mute the beat, you still be bopping your head. I feel like that about like Rick Ross too. Like you can mute the beat and you're still like, ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why he even has like a lot of clips where he's just like rapping, you know what I'm saying? Like on the mic, like a cappella, and people is just vibing with it, or he's freestyling or whatever.
Right.
And like you said, he just got that bounce where it's like he's kind of like his own beat too, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how many big acapellas are there where he just straight up just went off an acapella? Like
too many.
Facts.
A lot.
That's why they were able to throw his stuff like on so many. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing was able to live on still.
Yeah, that's those posthumous albums.
Exactly, like because you just produce around what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? He's already killing it. Like you just gotta.
I'm not gonna lie, that Nasty Girl, Jagged Edge, Biggie Duets track is one of my favorite tracks ever.
There's a few dope songs on that.
And that shows his voice's time. It's even like Hypnotized to this day sounds like it could be released today.
Yeah, that song is big ahead of its time. I remember hearing that for the first time and being like, yo, this is the future. This is different. This is nothing that I've heard before.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know for sure if I liked it right away. I was like, this is hard, I think. When you hear, you're like, yeah, this is hard. This is like, my mind's blown.
So like I remember, said, like, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, I remember when More Money, More Problems came out, and hearing it on the radio, and then hearing it on the Life After Death album after that B.I.G. interlude was such a different track.
Yeah,
like following up that B.I.G. B.I.G. is making this scream, bitches always say with, and he broke down B.I.G. and then he went like, I was like, wow, this is like some of the greatest music I have ever heard in my life. And everybody who knows me really, 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 really personally knows More Money, More Problems is probably my favorite song ever in life.
Yeah, it's a mind-blowing song.
It's funny you say that because More Problems is another one of those songs that I remember exactly where I was at, like when I heard it for the first time.
Now let me ask y'all this. Is Big in your top 5 all time?
Yeah. He barely got any bad music.
What do you think, Quincy?
I mean, he's in my top 5, but that's like that Mount Rushmore type thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like when people make that top 5 argument, it's very
it's hard.
It's hard because it's like.
Let me plead the case because I don't think he should be. And no disrespect to Big. It's just the way when Wayne started putting out albums every quarter. And they're all like still fired to this day. It's kind of like, okay, there's not enough content for Big to be in the top 5 anymore. And Wayne just doubled his workload in a year. So you know what I'm saying? No disrespect.
No. I definitely see that point. But when you really, really think about it, a lot of those greats don't have more good music than Big does. You know what I mean? Like when you really boil it down, like his albums are like greatest hits. You know what I mean?
So here's another argument. We also attach like how we came up, like you said. I remember the very first time I heard Life After Death.
Yeah, the impact.
That's an impact on us. So we're gonna always be biased. Like, nah, Big's definitely in the top 5 because what he did say was remarkable and never heard in the way he said it, and like he was ahead of his time. I say it with no disrespect, but my only argument is there's just not enough content compared to like everybody else in that time period is all I'm saying. But I'm never gonna sit like that's just like because there's so many people now. It's hard to put that man had realistically 2 albums, a double album, so we'll say 3 albums. Meanwhile, Wayne's on like his 11th album, you know what I mean? So it's just hard, and I'm not saying all of Wayne's albums are fire, but like a lot of songs. I feel
You know, I think that kind of falls in line with sports as well. Like, is LeBron the greatest because he's had that much more time to be the greatest and he's lasted longer than everybody else, or Brady having that many more, many more seasons than anybody's ever played, so he's had a chance to win more.
Right.
More, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you either count that or you don't count that. You count the quality or you count.
Right. Yeah. It's all subjective. I was just wanting to get, because I talk to people a lot.
And that's what I love. That's why I can't ever come down to it, because either I count that or I don't.
Yep, it's just whatever your criteria is, for sure.
Well,
and that's why I say with no disrespect, because if you catch me tomorrow, I might if I go listen to Ready to Die right now, I'm sure I'll come back to you guys, but you know what, I was tripping.
So that's what I was gonna say, was that with that being said, you know, because a lot of the arguments that I've always heard is that Biggie had the natural cadence, he had the natural bounce, he had the, you know what I'm saying, and then Tupac had that, you know, just the way he spoke, very poetic, very prophecy like.
And he was on a mission, and you felt it, you saw it, like that energy was there. Like I felt like there was like we're wasting time if we're stopping. Like that's the vibe I got from Tupac's career. Like I got so much to do, I gotta hurry up and get it out. Like everything was rapid. Like if you know, it's right when we were on death after he got out of trouble, everything was in the past. He started ramping up. I felt like he like knew, he was like, yo, I'm only gonna be.
I only got so much time.
He was just knocking out tracks one right after another. I just heard what's his name, Snoop Dogg, talking about it. He was saying that he would like go to the studio, pull up a track, and be like, all right, there's 3 verses on this. I'm gonna write one. Y'all could fill in the other ones. He'll start writing. Whoever was ready, they'll get on the song with him. He'll be like, all right, play the next one.
So he has so many tracks with the Outlaws.
You know, you don't want to hear the song. Like
I grew up on Pac. I'm telling you, from age 3 to age 10 in San Francisco, Bay Area. Yeah, he is too. I grew up on Pac. Literally, probably All Eyes on Me for sure. Machiavelli for sure. I remember when Machiavelli dropped in '97.
That was crazy.
And the conspiracy theory came out, and it's still active, and you can still listen to it today. If you play Machiavelli first track, full volume, Suge Shot Me. You hear it still to this day. Bro, we used to listen to that shit and like just turn it off and run out like
like when you do like Bloody Mary like in the beginning.
Yes, that's exactly how it felt.
That's how I felt, bro.
Bruh, I was like, no, don't play it again. I can't hear it again. I really I memorized Pac lyrics. I still know like at least more than a dozen of Pac lyrics front and back every song. And then I just moved to Orlando, and then Biggie just hit me different. But you know, there wasn't much music after that. But and that's when I went to like Nas, and that's when I just started feeling like the New York vibe. And it was all through like that Biggie transition.
Facts. Mobb Deep is probably my favorite out of New York altogether. Either them or Gangstar. I go back and forth every day.
You think your influence in music, all of y'all, your influence in music was a region or a style or just your preference? Because I think I went from the West to the East Coast, like for real transition to my taste of music.
Yeah, I think it's regional for sure. Because like when I lived in Atlanta, before I moved to Orlando, Tupac was pretty big in Georgia. And then when I moved to Orlando, Biggie was everything, you know what I mean? So I think it's also about like who you're around and what they're listening to. That's going to trickle down to you. That's what you're listening to, you know? Like, because I wasn't up on Biggie till I moved to Orlando. Like, I knew about the beef, I knew about all that stuff, but I was a jit, you know? I was real young, so I didn't really follow it deep enough to dig deeper, you know?
Yeah.
I dug shit. So being a Florida boy, like we were all about 2 Live Crew where I was from.
Hey, 2 Live Crew.
That type of music, but I definitely grew up, like I was eclectic. I didn't just listen to 8 Ball and MJG and Mobb Deep or Master P, but I also would like, I talked to Lester a little bit today. I listened to like the Beatles and like Nirvana and like Electric Light Orchestra. So like I just, and I think it's just, this is why I like to produce too, is because I just love the way things sound. Like it hits you a certain way. And I know some people, like when you hear certain sounds, it paints different colors in your head. So like, it'll do that for me, and I love that feeling in that picture in my head so much that I try to create it every night, like when I'm working on, I'm making a beat. So it's like, I think that's what it is for me. Like, it's not a regional thing. I sought out everything, and I knew about, like, chopped and screwed music, like before the normal person, like pre-internet days. Like, being a military brat, I'd be around like people who are from there. Yo, you gotta listen to this guy Paul Wall and this Slowed Down. I was like, yo, this is fire. What are they doing? This slow.
Yeah, I was slow on that.
Is like, for me, this was like 95. I first heard Paul Wall. My homie was from Texas and put me on him. And I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing in Texas? And so, but like, it's just crazy. Like, I think even all of us, because all of us have a pretty eclectic ear, that it's just like sometimes we're just drawn to certain sounds and it just hits us way.
No, it's dope that you mentioned, like, that. Do you know why? Do you guys know why Frank Ocean named the album Channel Orange?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Because he says you hear sounds in color, and it brings back the certain tone of memory. So for him, that album he created, that color orange, that sound brings back a memory, and that color of that memory is orange. Exactly why he named that album. You can look it up.
That's dope.
I love that.
And that's exactly what. That's what you know what I'm saying. Like, when you make music, and that's why I
definitely see color when I hear his
certain music immediately takes you there. Like, you're sitting there and you see it, and the only way you can see it is you see the colors. And you see the atmosphere, and you see the colors. You remember that shit brings you right back.
And that's pretty much like my criteria with music. It's like, I don't care what genre it is, who it is. If you could give me that vibe with the most, like, with a lot of your music, I'ma rock with it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I remember growing up, like, I never heard no rock and roll. Like, nobody was playing no type of rock and roll around me. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know, like, normal rock bands that everybody knows. You know what I mean? And I remember I was already like 20 something, and I was in a frozen yogurt shop, and they were playing a DVD of Journey's greatest hits, like the music videos. And I'm just eating the ice cream, and I'm like, damn. I asked the people working there, I'm like, yo, who is this? The chicken behind the counter looked at me like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she made the disgusted face, like, that's Journey. Like, she almost slapped me with it, like, what are you talking about? But then when, like, I checked them out, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, this is like a band from, like, this is an established Hall of Fame band. I don't even know who the hell they are,
Mm-hmm.
But like I was saying, like, you hear stuff and it's like, if it's dope, it's dope. It don't even matter, like, if it's in your realm of music, like, if it's dope, you're gonna vibe with it.
Yeah, nah, man. I've been listening to music my whole life, and luckily I come from just a family of music lovers. Like, I can literally say my mother, my father, my sister, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles. Like, I remember being like 9 years old in Peru with my godfather, my uncle, and him just putting Michael Jackson vinyls on and like doing the moonwalk. And this is in Peru, and that's how big he was.
Right.
Yeah, my uncle in Peru had his vinyl and knew how to do the moonwalk. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up on MC Hammer, on like literally all these artists that my sister and my mother loved. Like, there was the freestyle era, like Stevie B, and that whole era. Like, there was like so much music I listened to, and it's so crazy. Like, just growing up, having like different outlets of different kinds of music is definitely good.
Hey, what did your parents grow up like? What you grow up listening to, like, while your parents cleaned the house? What was in y'all?
Salsa, Hector Lavoe, salsa, all salsa, Jerry Rivera, all Spanish music for sure.
Nice.
But being that we were in America, like, remember MC Brain's Oochie Coochie?
Yeah.
There's a video of my mom, and it's on YouTube, and my sister would gladly show it to y'all, of me dancing to Oochie Coochie because my mom loved that track. And I'm like 10 years old, and I know the words to it, and I don't even know what it means. And I told my sister, like, I didn't even know what it meant, but I was vibing, like, I was dancing. Like,
that was the one.
We were all just dancing in the living room. Like, it's crazy. Just love the music. Nobody had any idea what we were talking about. But
you have to post the link.
She would. Don't ever hit her up. She'll send it to you real quick.
I know that. We need that.
Yo, you know what I think is dope? Is like the fact that
what kind of music you used to listen to, Quincy? Like,
or like growing up, like in the house. What influence?
Was your mom
Oh, bro, I heard a lot of like first like Prince. I heard a lot of Prince. I heard a lot of Michael Jackson. But then I also heard like 3-6 Mafia, Project Pat. Yeah, man. I heard some stuff, man. Lil Wayne and like the people I listen to now, bro. Like obviously they weren't around back then, but you could hear the influence of where I would kind of go down those paths of like somebody like Lil Wayne or I mean early, not like mainstream Lil Wayne. I'm talking like Hot Boy, 14-year-old Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But what I was gonna say was basically like it's dope when I feel like coming up, bro, I surrounded myself with a lot of people that was very like me on the surface. You know what I'm saying? So we all listen to the same artists. We all listen to the same, stuff like that. But then when you start to surround yourself with diverse people, you get put on to so many different things. Kind of going back to that point of what Lester made earlier about like Journey. Like, I ain't gonna even lie, bro. Even still to this day, like meeting my fiance is how I got put on to Maroon 5. And everybody knows Maroon 5. That's dope, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's just like the people you surround yourself and the diversity connects you to other music, which is really dope.
Facts.
Yeah, I love Maroon 5, dog.
What'd you grow up listening to, Lester?
A lot of
this guy Lester is the most diverse person I met for musically. This guy sent me some crazy ass links.
My mom had a like a wide variety of like her taste. Like she would play like Spanish pop, salsa, American pop. Like 80s pop, 90s pop, R&B. You know what I mean? Like she had a good ear for music. Like she would just play like whatever random stuff. So like I had like Boyz II Men CDs in my house. You know what I mean? John Cicada. You know what I'm saying? Like that Michael Jackson. So like I really just listened to like a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, I got lucky. I had an older sister, so she would always put me onto like T-Live Crew and like on 95 South. And obviously Hammer, but my mom would, bro, every Saturday she's about to clean when she put on Tony Braxton.
Yeah,
I know all of her music because of my mom, but she would listen to her and like Whitney Houston and Michael Bolton.
Oh yeah, same.
Your mom had soul,
She did, bro. But then my dad would listen to like James Brown.
My pops loves Kenny G. Like I literally,
my mom loves
every single album, any single artist. Like I had, I'm just naming my favorites.
No, I just like up here. I was just wondering what you heard growing up like this because it's
It's no, I think we all come from the same boat. Like we literally heard it all, and it's dope. Yeah.
My sister, bro, I can tell you, I've seen Purple Rain like a million times in my life because, listen, my sister's a big Prince fan, and then I moved overseas to the Azores. And we only have one TV channel, and
where's the Azores?
Oh, my bad. So it's a group of islands off the coast of Portugal.
Oh shit!
Before Florida, and like there was only one TV channel, and all we had was Sister Act and Purple Rain. So I literally watched Purple Rain like every day. But like Prince was like the god growing up. I was like, yo, I gotta be like Prince, but I'm not gonna dress like him. I just want to make his music.
Dog, that's dope. There was this one summer that I swear every single day. I think I watched Mystery Men. Oof. You remember that movie, the Ben Stiller movie?
Yeah, definitely.
They're like low race
with the purple suit.
Yeah. He's like Mr. Furious or something like that. Like he's like gets mad, but he don't do nothing. He just throws a tantrum. Yo, I watched that movie like every day one summer. Like I was mad obsessed. I was probably like
I did that with Happy Gilmore or something.
Yo, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, do we all have that one movie that we were forced to watch every day for all summer? Y'all know what mine was?
What was that?
It Takes Two with the Olsen twins.
It Takes Two.
You said we was like camping in Montana. We took a camper, me and my homie.
I'm so mad that I didn't record Quincy's party laugh, bro. He laughed so great just now. Like I was just watching him like, dang, he's enjoying that.
I thought this was a safe space.
I was enjoying it. Like,
I'm just thinking, yo, It Takes Two just caught me on guard, bro.
Here we go. Let's make this clip. No, but for real, do we all have that movie? Quincy, do you have a movie you was forced to watch a whole summer or something?
I mean, honestly, dog, I just watched a lot of the same comedies. Don't Be a Minute to South Central, while Ricky and Juice in the Hood. That was my shit. I watched that damn near every day.
That was one of the first movies I downloaded on LimeWire. Remember LimeWire?
Y'all ever see Bulletproof with Damon Wayans?
Yeah.
Hell
That's a
yeah.
sleeper.
We got shot in the ass.
Yeah.
Yo, my
Classic.
guilty pleasure movies. My number one guilty pleasure movie is Deep Blue Sea, dog.
Ooh.
I
That's
still
a
feel like that's a good movie, even though it's clearly terrible. But I enjoy watching
That's
it
a good
every
guilty
single
pleasure.
time.
Nah, what was the single?
It's my head is like a shark.
Yo, LL used
Dog,
to
that's my movie. That song used to play at the
My
end.
head is like a shark's fin.
He was back though, bro. You couldn't tell him nothing. He did head
Oh man.
long before that. You couldn't tell him nothing.
What's up? Is he a legend? Like what? He has the most
Yeah, he
respect
didn't
in
want to
the
stop. He didn't
game.
want to stop rapping and just do the cop shows. He's like, all right, I'm gonna fall back and get this bag. But it was fun. Thank
He
y'all.
was like of the time artist.
yeah, because
you know
he's
what I
like our
mean?
favorite artist.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, like all the maybe the Hall of Fames or the random awards. Like, utmost respect from every single person.
Facts.
Yeah.
Just for style alone, bro. Like that man look cool as fucking the Kango hat and the fucking Adidas sweatsuit, bro.
He's basically not a Jay-Z where he's just a slider. Like you're just gonna be like, yo, kick something, and he's just gonna say
But then
something.
he
That's
dropped
gonna hit.
Hey Ma. That's classic, bro.
Hey Lover, you mean?
Or Hey Lover, I'm tripping. That's not Dipset, yeah.
Oh, you good.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about when there was a Hey Ma Jay-Z verse that was supposed to be Jay's track.
Wasn't a crime. That man killed it, bro.
Yeah, nah, Hey Love It was good. That was
I would lie, yo. White Chicks is my guilty
There'd be
pleasure,
no
bro.
Fabulous without Cool J.
White Chicks movie.
White Chicks is my that shit is like it don't get old, bro. That shit's funny forever to me, bro.
They be playing that in the barbershop. That's one of wifey's favorite movies for sure. Like she knows that movie front to back.
That shit is hilarious.
Mine's Little Big League. Y'all ever see this on TBS like all the time? It'd be like the only movie that was ever on. Like the kid's a baseball manager and he's like 14 years old.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies, bro. Oh my
What
god.
was the other one thinking?
Little Big League.
Yeah, bro. Google
Yo, that
shit.
meeting had to be crazy. Like when they approved that title. You know
Like,
what I mean?
you know what? He's a little kid. He's gonna be a manager. Little Big League.
I've got it, Timmy.
It's gonna sell good. Kids are gonna love it.
Kids are gonna love it. I can just imagine it. You put the little and then put the big league big, you know?
Yeah, he's smoking a cigar, ashes it on the
Smoking
carpet.
cigar, yeah, on the carpet.
Play me off, Johnny.
Of course, I'm
Trying to
great.
think.
We paid $1 million, see?
Hey, touch, shake that ass for real.
For a real one.
I didn't do with the accent. Let's try to do with the accent. It couldn't come out.
Yo, let's hear your UK accent. Yes, the UK rapper we heard.
Oh my god. son.
Did any watch Top Boy?
No.
The
No,
Top
I'm
Boy
always-
series?
Oh, I tried to start that shit.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I always start and fall asleep. The accent really gets to be a bit.
I can't do it. I can't do accent shows. I don't know what it is.
I
I'm
love
not
it,
racist.
appreciate it. It's a
Dang,
vibe,
man.
but I don't know. I just can't. Yeah.
I like there's a show called Misfits from the UK. That show is super fire. It's like a group of kids that are doing community service, and then they got their town gets like struck by lightning, and they all get like random powers.
Shit.
Yeah, it's pretty fire, dog. And matter of fact, you know how they just dropped a new Game of Thrones thing now, right?
Yeah, I gotta tap in.
House of Targaryen. I mean, House of the Dragon. Pretty much House of Targaryen now.
So you know the dude that I don't remember the name. So you know the dude that was like the young king, that he was mad ruthless, that he made the chick his wife.
Yeah.
He's in that show.
Oh
The
shit.
Misfits.
Oh, gotcha.
He's like one of the main characters in that show, but he's mad good in that show. So it's like mad crazy. He
I've never
plays, like,
seen Game of
complete
Thrones.
opposites. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm
is-
not gonna lie, bro. I was in your boat like 6 months ago, and I got right.
I was
right,
late.
dog.
I was late.
I promise you.
But
You know what it is? It's
That's
just
with everybody.
to
I
watch.
have everybody. I just don't like those fantasy type shows. Like Lord of the Rings, I get it, but it's just I just don't
Bro,
dig it.
I
It's
promise you,
it's very,
with
very
you.
light on the fantasy. Like
it's light.
very, very
I
light.
promise you, dog. 'Cause I'm the same way, bro.
Than fantasy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but see that era, like I'm not really like. With
Oh,
that.
see, I do like that.
Like
kind
I don't
of
like
stuff.
the swordsman and the I'm gonna battle you for
You don't like
your.
the Future and Drake video? You saw? Did you guys watch the Wait for You video?
Yeah.
It's literally Game of Thrones
Yes,
theme. They're like with all the gear and like swords and like fighting in the woods for a girl and shit.
Damn. That sounds fire, actually.
It came out pretty good. I mean,
they could do anything, though.
Yeah.
The next video is gonna be in outer space, like literally. They're gonna literally do it on the moon. That's to be the next stunt. Taking Bezos is gonna take Drake up to the moon and shoot a music video.
Yo, so check out this crazy hard pivot I'm about to take.
Oh shit!
All right, let's get it.
You ready?
I'm gonna smoke a bowl.
So, my man Uncle Rooney, we haven't properly introduced him yet. He's a producer. He's also a tracking engineer. He's one half of the Cashiers, producer engineer combo out of Orlando. We got their studio in Longwood. Make sure y'all check him out.
Cash me out, huh?
Yes, you've heard that on a lot of my music. This is the guy right here that's produced a lot of my recent records and a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna be dropping also. And I want to hear your recollection of the session of Mama Ain't Working when you were working on Quincy's project, and he did that song for his mom on there.
Oh man, that was crazy. That was a crazy time.
It was, dog.
That was just a crazy time. But in retrospect, bro, like I know you're stronger for it, and I know like you're not the same person. No matter what, you're not the same person. But you know what I mean? It's crazy what you feel like you realize what you're capable of type of vibe.
For sure.
And so like just for you to be able to like make music about it at that time, bro, like not only I'm sure that's therapeutic, but
yeah,
I don't know, I couldn't have done it. So that's mad props to you, bro. And it came out fire too.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, no, that session was wild, man. It was just like you said, man, it was a crazy time,
Yeah.
So like even thinking back to every detail of the session, the way I felt during the session, I think my now fiance was there for that session.
And you were like on the street too, like you already like making slaps like by the daily at this point, like even unless you were putting together an album and like everything was a slap. So you're like mid pause, but you're mid slap, and then pivoted and made like a different type of vibe and killed it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that is true, because I didn't even look at it from that point of view. You was definitely in a certain vibe and a zone, and that shit just snapped it, like, right, you know what I'm saying? Like that path I was going, it was like a lightning bolt, and it split the street, and it's like you can't go down this road no more. Like,
right,
that was like a crazy, just like, nope.
Find a different way around that road.
Facts, man.
Yeah.
But you did, bro.
And that's literally what had to happen. That's crazy that you kind of described it like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I went through the same type of vibe, bro. Like, but you're able to express yourself better. And I couldn't have done it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I took like a month off from making music and doing anything. My mom passed. I was like, no, I can't even think about that right now.
Yeah.
But like the fact that you're able to tap into that, I applaud you, because first of all, it's brilliant. That's where a lot of the brilliance is. And let yourself be vulnerable and get into that is amazing. I applaud you for that, because I can't do that. But you know what I'm saying? And just appreciate you going through that and coming out the other side and having a great piece of art to always remember. You know what I mean? That's something that you can share with other people like me that have gone through it. Mm-hmm. And I think I appreciate it more just because I went through it as well and was there when you were going through it. Mm-hmm. And just, being able to see, like, because you kind of see the magic of stuff going on. So that's where that stuff comes from, unfortunately, but you grow as an individual. And that's why I say you're never the same.
Some people wish tragedy upon artists because that's when the artists brought out the best music.
Yeah.
Like they wanted Usher to go through a breakup so he could put another record out,
Right.
Yeah, but that's where that motivation, that creation
comes. Go to that space to write about it. Like that's like that scares the hell out of me. You know what I mean? But like for an artist to be able to tap into that, like that's pretty courageous.
One thing we've spoken about on this show is the credit you give artists once you get to experience him a little different. So now that I know Quincy, and I finally, I don't know why it took so long because it's on any app, but I finally went on Spotify. I started listening to a lot of, and I listened to him a lot differently. It's crazy. And I told him, I was never a Tyler Creator fan. Not a big, I wasn't a hater. I just wasn't a fan.
Right, you're like,
yeah. And then last year I took my niece to his concert, and now I'm a fan. Like I listen to anything he'll drop. So it's just crazy how you get different experiences. You listen to people different, and knowing the whole story behind him making that music, I listen to that music differently.
Right.
And it's just a whole different experience now. And now I'm gonna go back. Even less than now. I haven't even gone back listen. I found a track from them that I didn't even know existed today. So it's just crazy. It's just knowing what it took to create it. It makes you listen a little differently. And even you don't even have to know it, but just knowing it is a little different.
Yeah, for sure.
That's something even crazy about that time period too. Like we had did a lot of new music and dropped a lot of music, and then like when that happened, it was just kind of like a whole bunch of stuff was happening at the same time, and it just kind of derailed all that. You know what I mean? So it was like not only you going through, you know, something emotional, real in real life, but then you're also going through something musically, creatively. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like a double whammy. You know what I mean? And it's like when all that falls apart at the same time, it's like you don't even know which, you know, piece to go after first to try to fix. You know what I mean?
That's a good way of putting it.
But the beautiful thing of it, and I don't know, I feel like Lester, you've been doing music long enough, and you too, Unc. Like I feel like, you know, when you go through things like that and you bounce like on that end of the bounce back, when as an artist you grow, and you know, coming back to music, you hear it differently, you see it differently, and you're able to recreate in a different mode. Like that bag that I was in at that time, bro, you know what I'm saying? That was a bounce back moment, you know, like, you know, you know, if you listen to Whom It May Concern, you know, you can hear what I was going through during that album, you know, and then Wentworth was a smooth bounce back from that, you know. And I feel like I've gone through many phases of that in my life. I've been doing music now for what, 15, 16 years. I've been through different things that like every time I come through that bounce back, it just feels different, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like a dope thing about like being an artist or a creator, a producer, is that like when you get to that point where you realize like, yo, I could create whatever vibe I want because we just making it out of thin air. You know what I mean?
Can I ask y'all something? Mm-hmm. And this is me asking y'all three. I don't have my own response for this. I'm sorry if it's spontaneous, but each of you today, what is your creative environment now? Like, what do you feel is your like Quincy? Like that was that bag you were in through that creative moment. What is it now? Like, what's fueling you? What's motivating you now?
I think it's just kind of, you know. So we just talked about what I went through, you know, and it took me time and years to figure out how to bounce back from it. And I feel like outside of music, that's where I'm at in my life. I'm bouncing back from it, you know. So now coming back to music, I'm able to carry that feeling with me into the music. Exactly. And so like now, you know, going back into it and writing, I feel different. That's what I was explaining to Lester like yesterday on the phone. I was like, I sent him something and I was kind of like, you know, this ain't really it. But, you know, I feel different. I feel you know, there's something there that while writing
you're working it out, yeah.
Yeah, if it didn't feel forced, you know what I'm saying? And that's the bag. It's like that whole time, none of that felt forced. But when I was going through that, it started to kind of feel forced. But it's no longer feeling that way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Blowing up. What about you?
What was the question again? My fault.
What's your creative vibe now? Like, what's your guide? Do you just go in there, whatever flows, or do you have like a vision and a kind of creation style, your methodology of what you're doing?
Well, right now I got a few projects I got going on. So like me and Lester usually dedicate a day to work out something where we either start with an idea he has and I expand upon it, or he'll do something at the crib and I'll just remake it. And then I have like a day where I meet with different songwriters, and our manager will hit us up for placements or opportunities. So like, we'll just send them whatever pack I have with these songwriters. And then I have a day right now, I'm doing an EP with Click Clack, and then he's also doing one with Luxury Lane, and I've got one on that project. I'm trying to get more on that project, so I'm working on that. Yeah. I'm also working with a couple artists in Atlanta, actually a few artists in Atlanta. This dude Rex Evans, so I've got a few songs with. We're just dropping singles with him. I'm just record music, just he's one of the people like working with Lester. I just enjoy working with him. We're just creating a bunch of vibes. And then one of his homies, dude named Johnny Poppy, I got a crazy single with him that I can't wait for people to hear. And it just kind of came out of, we were just vibing in Atlanta, and it just came out of thin air, and it's crazy. But then
that's what I'm saying. Like, so you're bouncing off the artists you work with, and you're just creating.
I usually, a lot of times I have beats already ready. Like I cook.
That's what I'm asking you right there.
Oh, my fault. Okay, so I usually cook.
No, your method of making music for you, for what you see, not for somebody, for you. Like,
okay, so I'll have like the lights similar to how Quincy's got his room over there, like nice and dim and colorful. And then just have like something cool in the background, like a cool movie like Goodfellas or something, just muted, and just whatever I'm feeling that day. Like I said, I see colors, so I start playing.
There you go.
I play with sounds first, and like whatever color intrigues me, I start with that, and then I build on that. Like whatever chords hit me a certain way, I'm like, oh, I like where this is going. Let me just. But I also, at least the last couple of years, I try to make stuff simplistic, but like still like fill out the beat, because I don't want the artist to be constricted. Like all the best beats that I've gotten placements with have been real open, where the artist can kind of come with something. I always say the artist is the main instrument, so they're the lead. Whatever they like, they always come up with the coolest melody. So everything else I have just has to accompany that and spark that, and the drums just have to be bouncy, bro. And it's not that hard.
I love it. Lester, how about you? Now you know what I'm asking. That's exactly. I like to hear that, just a method of creativity. Like, how do you get to something?
Bro, it's 24 hours a day in my head. When I'm not making beats in my head, I'm like, oh, I need to try this when I go back in, or like, I wonder if I make this bounce it like this and then cut it like this and then try this effect on this revert. Like, I'm always doing it in my head, and then I go back and try this shit out, and I'm like, you always find gems just by fucking with shit too. Lester.
So what I basically do when I'm gonna write a song is I always start with a melody and a line, and like the line always goes off of like what the vibe of the track is. You know what I mean? Like I don't really see it in colors, but like I'll get like a certain kind of landscape in my head. You know what I mean? Like if the beat is like dreamy, I'll like think of like a, like you in the woods. Ooh. And there's like colors in the sky. Ooh. And like it's a cloudy day, you know what I mean? Like if it's like a certain kind of song, I'll hear like a certain like beach, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll kind of like see a place,
scenery,
and then I'll come up with a line, and then like that line will just be like the whole theme of the song, you know what I mean? Like I base everything off of that line.
I dig it.
Where are, like, what's your
motivation?
Yeah. It's like, what are you making music for? You know what I mean?
Tell them your demographic before you answer that.
No, and that's what I mean. Like, what fuels you, man? Like,
so
that sound you're trying to make.
I'm always trying to make timeless music.
There you go.
That's what
I know how you make the sound. I don't know why you make that sound.
Yeah. Like my main goal is always to make music that anybody's gonna hear it and rock with it. You know what I mean? Like, and even if maybe it's not your genre, you're gonna be like, yo, that bangs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't listen to it, but once you played it for me, like, yo, that's a hard song. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's like what that timeless music does. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
no, it's just, if you think about it, and I'm tying this all back to what I was gonna say from the beginning, is that I've known Mr. Mike Sorter here, Sorter there for so long, and appreciated everything this man has related to music with me ever in my life.
Ooh, yes.
And then I meet you two, and then I meet you first. Like, get personalized with you first, meet you, get to know you, realize you got Lester and Uncle doing music, get to know Quincy more, realize Quincy did music with Unc, and then it's just.
And you met me at the bottom floor, like before I was even doing it. I was like,
and you were throwing a pint of beer from one side of the bar to the other and catching it.
To Den, bro. Den caught everything.
And we went there to drink them all. Everything you guys were.
Yes. And you just pass it on to whoever's drinking it. Here's your beer we just threw across the room with a napkin over it.
Just the appreciation music I always had with you. I told him that we went to like that Wiz concert outside of like the Firestone when it was raining. When Big Sean was there, the whole 420 like smoke crew was there.
Shit was crazy.
Like just appreciation music, and then having appreciation of music with Lester before knowing you guys connected, and then with Quincy before, and it's just dope that I feel like I can recognize these certain type of artists, creators, and I feel like it's the same kind of energy it's giving me, regardless of what y'all make. Like it just gives me some kind of energy, and I just love seeing it come full circle organically. Like this is a dope connection that I never would have put together.
That's the key word there too, organically. Like we met organically, and we just, like you said, like you and Den, I feel like they're like musical brothers. Like we all like would vibe on the same stuff and literally have like the same opinion, but listen to it all differently. And like, so we would talk about that all the time, but we also grew, like this genre's grown a lot differently since we first met, and we've kind of grown with it. And it's just crazy that like, your taste, I was telling, like I mentioned earlier, like you're the one who put me on the Drake. Like you always had that, like, I feel like an A&R type of ear. You're like, yo, this is hot, this is next. And you've never been wrong. Like ever, you put me on to so much music, and I'm like, yo, this is that next shit. And then Joe found it yet again. But that's what I'm saying. Like we all, like, I think that's one thing we all have in common too, is we have a good ear, and we have a likeness for this shit. And I don't know about y'all, like I'm going all in for this shit. Like I'm getting a placement on the top.
That's what I think. It's just the worst songs can be put mainstream and everybody would love it.
Right.
It's just because enough ears hear it. If enough ears hear good music, they're gonna love it, and there's no reason why we shouldn't keep.
And I want it to be organic too. Like I don't want it to be like we pay for plays, or we like, you know.
Exactly. It's good music.
I want to help develop these artists I believe in, you know.
I was just like, when I posted that one repost with ours, when I said this is a banger, and I was just browsing, like I was just looking through, you know what I'm saying, like, and I was like, I stumbled on it, and it came up, and I was like, oh shit, this song. I didn't even realize it. That's what I'm saying. So it like
that's
it came
what I'm talking about, bro. That's what
that's the kind of shit I like seeing. Like that's perfect, because for someone like me who likes that sound, for it to pop up and then me realizes you, that's even better. And that's,
bro, that makes me so happy too. Yeah. For real, like
that's exactly how that happened right there.
Man, that's crazy. And like the fact that you dug it is like, because like I said, you have an A&R ear. Yeah. So like if I randomly text you songs like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this?
I know, and I told Lester, I listen to everything on my phone. It's a bad thing. I need to give you that email so you get email, because
okay,
better quality. I feel like I can't listen to it on my phone.
Okay, yeah, send me the email, because I always trust. Because I have a bunch of stuff in the cut that I may drop on my own, like the Cashiers featuring so like I have some bigger artists that I know are gonna drop, and it's like I might do it as like the Cashiers featuring.
I was gonna text you, but I knew this was coming, but I wanted to eventually do like I know I've been saying it for months, but remember we did Uncle Mike's Mustache Rise mixtape. So we have done a mixtape before. Yes. I want to drop a grounded mix.
Yeah,
a couple of Lester's bangers, something that Quincy wants to throw, and a couple, if anything you want to throw in there. It's gonna be an hour-long mix, and I just want to mix them all together. So
okay, yeah, I'll send
email me, and that's how we did it last. That's exactly how we did it last time.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I got the Serato ready. I signed my membership again. I'm paying $9.99 a month.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love hearing that.
Yeah. So, but I just think these three artists that I see right now on my screen is one of the most perfect blends that I've ever witnessed, and shout out to y'all.
God bless you,
that. And the dope thing is, like, us three together haven't even made that much music. You know what I mean?
No,
like
facts.
Separately, we've made a lot of music, but when you think about it together, we haven't really done much. Like really cooked up.
We got to start cooking with one open verse for Quincy. Or like some vibes to send over to Quincy.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why I'm working on a couple of joints right now that Lester sent me. So
Quincy's back. He came to Orlando looking like Pusha T, dog. The braids hanging. You hear me?
Damn, I forgot. And then I heard that love track today, and he was on his.
Yeah, man. We had a lot of super dope sessions though, man. Like we definitely need to keep the vibes going because like them sessions at Plush.
What was that
and
panel
Vibe
thing
Room
you guys
events.
did? You guys never told me what that panel thing was you guys did.
What panel thing?
They said Quincy and Unk did a panel thing? That wasn't them?
Oh
two?
yeah, he interviewed him.
Oh, you talking about on Rap Pedestal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you said that, but you never told me like how that happened, what it was.
Yeah, he interviewed him on a live. Like that was when we was already working a lot and stuff. So it was kind of like having him on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like we already vibing and chopping it up. Like we might as well do it here too. You know what I mean?
But on the live, what like?
It was like a live Instagram show.
Yeah, it's just like IG.
You know, like
live IG,
real heavy. You know what I mean? That everybody was doing like a little show.
Yeah, we were
You know
working
what
during the
I'm
whole
saying?
pandemic. We were in Plush the whole time.
Yeah,
And it was only like the same 3 people, so no one got sick.
Yeah.
that's dope. Okay, I got you. That's dope.
Yeah, nah, man. I think it's gonna be dope, bro. Like I would say the next couple of months. Oh, and another thing I didn't mention, bro. Like with this new position I have, I'm gonna be traveling.
After that, congrats.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. But I'm gonna be traveling. I'm actually gonna be in Chicago in September.
Oh, fire.
Oh yeah, man.
That's a good time to be in Chicago.
And that master's degree already giving you that
Already doing what?
Yeah.
Dog, immediately.
immediately.
That's great.
Yeah, man. That's
man, it's
That's
dope.
why, that's why you get it.
Facts.
Shit.
Facts.
You upgrade.
I'm the master.
I am getting now.
Dan's going back for his masters. He started this week. He's super nervous. I'm like, bro, you're fine, because he went to college like freaking 12 years ago.
Right. Dan's going back for his masters.
Yeah, he just started. Because his
Oh.
company's paying for. Yo, we were talking about, we went to that one college party like in Tanner Crossings where we dressed up for Halloween, remember? And he was like Ryu or something. and we were like playing pool and he was like, we didn't get no play. I was like, nah, we didn't. He was like sort of invited us. I was like, yeah, he did.
Bro, there's this one time where I went to, remember Devaney's?
Yeah, hell yeah.
We went to Devaney's. The dudes that worked there were like in some frat, and Den's like, yo, these girls think we're in the frat. We gotta act like we're in the frat. So all I did was just pop my collar. I was like, what are these frat guys do? He's like, pop your collar up. That's what their vibe is. That's how they know you're in it.
That was
Then-
it.
Oh, that's funny.
Back then.
Dennis, that's how we met, is through Dennis Lopez.
Yeah, man, that's really how me and my man and him developed a friendship, and we kicked like. Then I told him I had the podcast with you and Click Lag and Pimp.
Yes, I forgot about
Remember
that.
that? We did
Yeah,
that.
bro. Click Clack is a real, like, let me talk about, I'll do
Yeah,
anything.
shout out to him, man. He has some of my favorite tracks. He's an artist. I love him, man. He's a good guy.
And he's up next, bro. He's been doing this stuff at Luxury Lane. Like I said, I got one on there.
Even his
But-
videos, man.
Yeah, his newest one's about to drop. Is he's about to? I'm telling you, they're gonna be shopping for him. So
Yeah, he's dope.
it's been fun to watch his progression, and like now he's just.
He's close with Kasky, right? Does he still stuff do?
Yeah.
Kasky?
I just actually got a song with him and Kasky.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I did it with Click Clack at the studio, and then he sent it off to Kasky. Kasky
Nice.
sent a verse right back.
That's dope.
Yeah, they have a dope relationship too, like rap relationship. Like they feed off each other and they make great music together. Like they have so many songs together that are just bananas. Like even if you're just a fan of rap and just a fan of good songs, like they have that good chemistry together. And
Yeah, that's always dope to find. You know, when you see two artists that just collab.
yeah, they make.
You know what I'm saying? They blend
They
like.
don't have to be in the same room. Obviously, you want to get the people in the same room, but they know each other so well that they don't have to be in the same room. They recognize the vibe, and you know, it's dope, bro.
That's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing for sure.
And Kasky's on tour, and matter of fact, he's coming to the city. I think the 28th. So if this comes out
Touring's
before,
back, Brad. Touring's back. I love it.
oh
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's shows left and right now.
yeah, all over the place. It's up and down. I love it. Yo, I'd love to go to a DaBaby show. I fuck with DaBaby, bro.
Yo,
Yeah.
fact.
He's so hard. I need
I'm
to get
still
a
on
place
the
on
island,
DaBaby
man.
so bad.
He could rap, man. All the
They're not locked up.
Fucking your bitch and I'm gone. I'm back in the picking the phone. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the baby.
Yeah, DaBaby, bro.
The baby.
He's so fire to me. Like, and he's
I
like a
fuck with
modern day Tupac to me. Now hear me out.
Nah,
he's
I
a
fuck with
little
the
more.
baby.
He's a little more cartoonish in how he presents himself, but like This man got rolled up on a Walmart and blasted this dude because
Look
protecting
that ass.
like he's like don't come for him and like as a fan of rap like that's how you want like that's how rappers were growing up like every one of them had like a rep like that where something like that happened. Now it's like I do a lot of drugs and hey you do a lot of drugs let's make some music. All
right look real quick I just remembered a good conversation to have real quick before we get out of here and it's about music making. Do you think Khaled is over abusing his angle of samples?
Real quick, before we touch on that about the baby, shout out to my boy Danny because he actually put me onto the baby when he had like 20,000 followers.
Right, I got put on him early too.
And he hit him up about a feature, and he hit him back talking about 2K. And he was trying to get, and like he was talking to everybody, like, bro,
damn.
You know what I'm saying? Because like he wasn't an artist, but you know he was in the studio, and you know he was around, and he knew, like, kind of like you were saying about Joe, he had kind of like that ear too. Right. Like he was like, yo, man, somebody need to hop on this, and that, and bro, like
that shit.
Immediately like, after that, he just blew up, bro.
That's
like
crazy.
Went crazy.
I love to hear it. What were you asking about Khaled?
I watched the DJ Khaled Drink Champs episode today.
Samesies.
The what?
Oh, I said Samesies. My bad.
I got you guys. No, it went robot for a minute. I didn't hear. And a conversation I had last week with a couple of my boys, Shot to Rhino. And then I said I was gonna save it for the show. Is do you think Khaled is because you know the last single, Staying Alive, Bee Gees. Do you think he's over abusing his angle of using samples, or is that his bag and he needs to just keep doing what he's doing?
I think he has to go number one, and he's gonna do what he thinks he has to do to go number one at all times. Yeah. And that's been his formula. Is like, let me find a sample that used to be fire and just bring. You know, these kids don't know about this shit. I'm gonna make them learn about it. And that has been always the music. Like, let me just make a whole career out of remaking music. So I think it's like the pressure of like, all right, Khaled, we signed you a 5-album deal. They all have to go triple platinum deluxe with a mac and cheese, or you know, you're not getting paid.
As a producer and a listener, do you think he's overdoing? You're over it.
No, because I'll always give him a listen because hey, I love him as a character. Like it breaks my heart. They didn't believe in us. Like God did. Like, bro, I love that.
He gets so animated. He's so animated. He's more than me.
I love that. Like, the more animated, the better for me. Like, it's like WWE or some shit for me. I don't even watch WWE. But like, I love Khaled in that space. Like when he's promoting and he's like being outlandish and like, because you know that man works hard. He reminds you he works hard. You know he's gonna go get a Jay-Z verse when no one else in the industry can. You know he's gonna pull something.
Jay-Z and Nas video. That was a huge point.
Did you see the track list? There's a song with Kanye and Eminem on the same song. You know how long I've been wanting to hear that? And think that if it's
he literally said, he goes, I have a track with every single artist you want. He goes, say something, I will drop a track right now.
On your head.
On your head top. He goes, say something I don't like, I will drop a track, right? I'll drop the J track. I'll drop the Ye track. He was just like naming them all.
Listen, I love that energy. I tell this to Lester, like, the type of artist, I feel like you got to be the cockiest motherfucker on the earth. Like, you got to feel like your dick is bigger than everybody else's. And that's the energy you got to give off, because if you don't feel it, your fans aren't going to feel it. That's the kind of energy you're supposed to give. Like, yeah, that's the man right there. He probably got a 12-foot long dick that eats fucking meat and potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of vibes you're giving off. Like, you gotta be that dude.
The dick eats meat and potatoes. The dick has meals. That's how large it is. Don't forget my cervix.
I believe you didn't leave
You forgot. And that's what I'm getting to. Like
me.
What I heard is someone was annoyed by it, and I was like, nah, I'm not annoyed by it. Like, that's his bag, and he's making good music, and I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna put it on the playlist when everybody's around, and it's something that everybody can relate to. I could throw on a Khaled album.
Now, what I will say this: I wish that I could get an album in a space where he's literally doing whatever the fuck he wants and not worrying about going number one.
Yeah, agreed.
But that is like, unless you're independent and you're like
Staying Alive could have been a banger without using the sample.
I feel like
Because
I'm
I'm a-
doing that with like We the Best and Listen. You know what I mean? Like if you listen to them joints, like I think it was Listen. He had a joint with Beanie Siegel and Jadakiss on it, dog.
Yeah.
Like he was doing them crazy records like
He's calling the
before
plays,
even,
bro.
you know what I mean? Like,
But like he's up in the ante, and I'm here for it. You know.
Y'all seen that movie Shotters?
Yes, young skinny DJ Khaled.
I had no idea he was in it. I was late to Shotters, and I watched it, and I didn't realize he was in it. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Repping for 305. His story is awesome. But he's a home team as well, so that's another reason.
He is Old Town Boy.
I'm always been pay attention to whatever he's doing.
That's what we saw. DJ Nasty. They still
they're all good dudes, man. Like they all like how that positive energy. Like that's really how they are. And like, how do you not want someone like that to win?
Facts, and that's even something that we've been touching on a lot, me and you, Unc, and it's always something that me and Joe and me and Quincy talk about is that vibe. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's not aligned with the vibe, like it's real easy to pick up on. It's real easy to see how they can kind of disturb the flow of what's going on and stuff. And like you said, you got to be able to just be in the vibe, like when you're collaborating, when you're trying to get stuff done, whatever you're doing. Like if you're trying to get in the vibe, you know, you're gonna find out the hard way that you're not gonna be there no more. You know?
And then also, you learn how to maneuver around that too, and like how to. Like, because as a producer, man, it's not my job to just make the beat, bro. I'm not going to let the song slow up. So if I have to record it, I will. I'll set the environment. I'll put the candles in. I'll ask Lester, hey, what do you want from the store? What's going to make you comfortable? Oh, a Gatorade and some sunflower seeds. Bet, got you. So then literally their mind is only occupied on being their most creative. I don't want to think about literally anything else. Like, man, it's hot in here. It's crazy sounds outside. Like none of that. And perfect lighting. They're literally just being, and like after every session I have with every artist, they're always like, man, it's just so easy to create here. And it's like, that's the vibe you have because you're curating all that. You're like taking their mind out of their regular world. It's way easier to write a record in our studio than you at home if you got kids running around or loud noise, or if you just got, you're lucky enough you have your own man cave over here.
Soundproof man cave.
So he has the luxury of being able to like learn the song before he comes sees me, so it's even more on point. So like stuff like that, bro. Like
artist taking notes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's. I look at it like this: if you want this bad enough, you'll figure out ways to make it happen.
Facts.
Whether that's like what Lester likes to do sometimes is record the song here and learn it beforehand to see if it's a vibe that he wants to curate. Like whatever you got to do to make your craft better and get better at your craft, whatever you think that is, but you got to figure it out. No one's going to help you. No one gives a fuck about you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm building with these artists, because I'm trying to show them, put it in their face like, yo, you need to pay attention to this. We're building this over here.
And I'll tell you right now, 100% why I've always supported Unc and everything he's ever done, way before it was even Cashier Unc, is because consistency. As soon as I met Lester and I saw his artistry, consistency.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't stopped. There's no way I can stop supporting an artist who doesn't stop. And Quincy's rolling right into there, and I already know. So now I'm expecting, Quincy, my bad, I got some expectations for you, my dude. But I'm saying, like, that's what it is. Like, and that's what you've never stopped. And I've never expected you to stop. And if you stop, I'll be disappointed at this point.
Oh, I'm never gonna stop.
That's what I mean. Like now I'm so invested.
Yeah. And like
I'll be disappointed.
That part too, bro. Like literally, like for real. But also like the other people that have come along for the journey too, not just you at the bottom, but people that help me that I feel like personally responsible for. So like I have to keep going for them as well. So it's but not more than anything, bro. Like it's like, what else would I be doing but trying to chase my dream? There's nothing else in this world I want to do. So that's what I'm gonna do.
And that's one of the things too about being an artist that like, people have this misconception like, oh, you trying to be famous or you trying to get, ridiculously rich off this or whatever. It's like, nah, you just love music. You know what I mean? Like, like Unc said, I mean, we're gonna be creating this until we can't no more. You know what I mean? Like if we gonna end up making some Sinatra records or something at 60, like whatever we gotta do to make it happen is gonna happen. You know what I mean? Because it's not like
it's a different motivation. That's what the question I asked y'all from the beginning. Like the motivation is different, but I don't want to always bring in sports, but I feel like we could relate to different topics.
Yeah, of course.
So, have you watched the Jeter special?
I did. I watched it all.
And you saw what A-Rod said, right?
Yeah.
The difference.
I remember when that happened. Yeah.
The difference. I remember it too. But he said it. The difference between why he wasn't as successful as Jeter and he was a hater and despised it is because Jeter wasn't there to be a star. He wasn't there to be popular. He was there to be the best at what he did.
Also, A-Rod was a bitch.
That's what I mean. It's like there's so many. When you're doing it,
you didn't have anyone to say, "Bro, you're being a bitch."
But no matter how talented you are, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons,
that part
it shows, and it shows, and it will affect your career. It will affect everything you do.
He had to throw shade at Jeter too, and
that's what I mean. And the shade was because he's
like you were real friends, and like how cool would that have been? I mean, we don't care because we're not Yankee fans, but like, how cool would that have been for Yankee fans, bro? Like, they probably would have won more championships if those two would have gelled together. Like,
it's like someone's mad at someone who's doing it for the right reasons.
Right, bro.
Like, bro, I'm doing what I do for the right reasons, and
Jeter can let that go, and I don't blame him, bro, because he saw the bitch in A-Rod. I feel like he saw like he didn't shake that bitch out of.
Yeah.
So I see you for who you are.
Yo, that's why I love that because it's so straight up, and it's like a lot of these days people will still sugarcoat shit, and it's like, no, you gotta just say it. Like, nah, bro, like that shit don't wrong me. I had to talk with one of my homies today about another old homie. I'm not having that shit no more at this age. Like, I'm having that talk with you. I don't bang with people, and I don't bang with people, and that's it, bro. Is this how it is? Boom. A lot of people, if you do shit for the wrong reasons, I don't like it, and I will address it. Boom, that's it.
I respect it.
Yeah. Facts.
Sorry, turn it over.
I hated Jeter while he played too, being a Braves fan because he ripped our heart out. But
2001, you saw what happened. So
I mean, I remember a lot about Jeter just from watching SportsCenter. I never watched baseball, but back in the day, I was on SportsCenter all the time, so I would catch the highlights. I kind of, and Jeter was always one of the main storylines, so he was always one of the stories. You know what I mean? So you always heard about him, and it's like me from the outside looking in, it's like people hate somebody like Jeter because, okay, maybe he's not the greatest, but he's gonna make the right play when he needs to make the right play. He's gonna be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do the work. He's gonna give it his all. You know that he's gonna do the best thing for the team, and you know that if the ball's coming his way and we in a tense situation, he's gonna make the right play. And you can't discount that.
Yeah, those are the kind of people you got to honor in all points of your life. The kind of people that show up,
facts,
when it means something. The kind of people that continuously try to improve shit with you, like.
And how cool of him to like be smart enough to know, like, I'm not gonna get married while I'm playing baseball. Like, I'm gonna wait because he knows, like, yo, I'm a wild boy, and I'm not gonna be.
They love the kid for sure.
And that's a super like real thing to do. Like a lot of people don't have that kind of restraint and stuff.
Right.
Remember he was supposed to be at the club where Diddy and J-Lo and Shine got shot up. He was supposed to be there that night.
That was crazy. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Good for him. America.
That's wild.
It's a good special. I told everybody to watch it. It's just good to see people be fueled in their passion, and it has nothing to do with the money or the fame. It just has to do with
the layers.
You know what I'm saying? It's deep. It's
the human side of it.
Yeah, and just like holding your integrity and just not letting the public affect you and other people's opinions affect you, and just continuously just
in the biggest market world.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing it at art right here. He's doing at the face of the fucking Yankees.
And he
for
just
him to keep that composure.
He's like, that's something I'm gonna have to look forward to in the future.
Admirable. I'll say at the least.
Big facts.
Yeah, and even to kind of touch on some of the stuff that I was talking to Lou about in the episode that me and Lou recorded, it's like that's even one of the reasons why I like working with Unc and Lou, because they're at the top of their game, because they're putting that work in, and you know, they're becoming those people in the city where it's like, yo, that's the sound, you know what I mean? Like, you're hearing it, it's undeniable, you know what I mean? Like, when you're putting that work in, and you know, like he said, that's one of the reasons why when I go there, we always knock out a banger, because the vibe is right. He's ready to work, you know what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing, because that's a big thing that a lot of people kind of discount too, like learning the craft, like actually learning it, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes getting better is like opening the manual and reading what stuff does, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people
not just going through the motions of just doing the same shit over again.
Exactly. And even like you know, like Uncle will attest to, and you know, we always create different ways. You know, sometimes we start with a sound, sometimes we start with an acapella, sometimes, you know what I mean, every time it's different. We're trying different ways. If he gives me a suggestion, I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna try it. If I tell him to try something, he tries it, because at the end of the day, we're just trying to make that timeless music, you know what I mean? And that's the ultimate goal. I feel like when you're in the studio, is to be in that vibe and just trying to make the best music that you can create. And you know, I'm excited to hear how Quincy kind of taps back in, and like the sound that he's gonna like bring out, like because like Unc said, it's gonna be different, you know, any way that you slice it. You know, he's not in the same mindset, he ain't the same person, he ain't the same point of view even musically of that time, so you're not gonna get that same Quincy. So what kind of vibe are we gonna get? And that's the dope thing with music, you know what I mean?
And I just kind of relate to it, like sometimes you work with some people that are so set in a mind state, and it's like you can't break that, and they're just so like custom being to it. And like knowing that Mike's been doing this for so long, and he still has that fluid mind state and that flexible mind state to just go anywhere, and the artist is going, and the creativity that y'all two have, I can't wait to hear this shit. I'm telling y'all, man. I wish if y'all setting up a couple days about it, I might fly into town about it.
Hey man, that'd be dope. That'd be really dope.
Yeah, that'll be super dope.
You have to come meet with us in Atlanta or something when we run out of studio up there.
These guys know what's going on with me. I've been on like a crucial like timeline. It literally it was supposed to be last Friday. It got extended to Monday morning, 7 a.m. But we're gonna be trying to be done by this week at 5. But then after this, from September on, like I got time.
Hey, that's hard.
I want to set up some time with us to just be there, witness the creative moment. If I provide the input, I'll be blessed too, but I just want to witness it.
That would be dope, bro. Like, I mean, tell Lester how we used to cook up at your crib, bro. I got Facebook videos, like literally, like for the
sure.
The spot was Joe's house because it was a fire.
And that's what then when I moved from Orlando to Vegas, we had a little meetup, and then it was like Joe was always the one who had a crib.
Yes,
like since I was 17, I lived on my own, and I lived in a crib, and I rented a room, and I always had somewhere where everybody can come through and just conglomerate and do something about it. And music, because Gary's been doing this shit since 2000. Gary performed in the 2000 Talent Fest as a rapper at the beat he made with his group, and I was a DJ in the booth in the auditorium playing the tracks. Like,
that's super hard.
We've been doing this shit for over 20 years, just balls deep in music, and I love it, man. I've never stopped loving it.
No, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah, man, it's super special, and even just the way you can capture moments and like even just give people those vibes, you know what I'm saying? Like the stuff we're talking about, like, man, every time somebody hits me and tells me like, yo, man, like this song is perfect, or this song, like even like in my Spotify, like since I'm like an artist, my Spotify, I get like the stats of like, you know, the type of people that's listening to the music, you know, basically like all the data that's like non-invasive, you know what I mean? Like whatever like you opt into, like if you put like, you know, your age, your sex, where you're from, you know what I mean? Like it just puts those like things together and like the demographics and everything.
Yeah.
And it even tells you like the names of the public playlists that your songs are in, and you just get to see like, you know, people are naming the playlist based off their vibes, you know what I mean? So it's like dope to see like, oh wow, like that's how this made them feel, like, and they added this to that playlist and how many times they've heard it. And it's like, it's just like, giving that feeling to people that you get from music, I feel like it's like the dopest part of making music. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
somebody.
What Quincy got? Slide through, come through, and chill and grinding, huh?
Oh, you see that playlist?
Yeah, I see out there though.
Yeah,
No,
man,
but
that's that.
I
all
follow
give a different.
Quincy, and he got those three. Those are three titles. That's exactly music gives you a feeling
Yep.
for sure. Excellent point there.
Quincy's a low key playlist king too, because whenever I was up at his crib and we were smoking, vibing, whatever, he always had a little playlist going in the background, and I was always like, oh, hey, what song is that? Like, you know, what I'm saying? Like he always had the sliders on there.
No, I'm big on vibes, bro. And like I know you mentioned earlier, and I didn't really tap into it, but like when I hear music, bro, I hear the vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way I come up with the flow and how I'm gonna like attack it before I even know the words. Like it's the vibe, you know what I'm saying? So it's a completely different way of how I hear music, you know. So like if Unc made a beat right now, going off of whatever that beat the feeling I got from it, I get a vibe, I get a way of like a cadence, I get a bounce, I get everything, and then the words just come to that.
It takes a way to tap into that kind of creativity. I'll just say right now.
Like feeding off of each other's energy too. Instead of like coming to the studio, I gotta make one of these type of songs. Let's just go in there and see what hits your soul.
Facts.
And then let's try and just tap into that and see what comes out.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I wrote these 12 bars at home. I gotta.
Yo, facts.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, it's so weird, but for my job, I had to interview certain people, right? And everybody at my job wanted to have
freestyle.
No, they wanted preset questions.
Freestyle. They're like,
no, for real, they wanted preset questions. Like, no, I was like, I can't do that.
That's crazy.
I was like, I can't. Like, I don't even know who this person is.
Right.
I can't have a set of questions for a person I don't even know. Like, I just gotta go in and feel it.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like if I didn't do this, I would be doing music with y'all for sure for a living. Because we got the same mindset. I just gotta do it with different shit.
Yo, you know what's dope? My bad, but real quick, you know what's dope about like when you get to a certain level, like with jobs, bro, like when you say the preset questions, bro, all of my internal interviews have been preset questions, and it's not an interview. It's like I got to come with a presentation. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are your questions. Tell me how you're gonna solve the problem. You know, and it's kind of different, bro. It's just different. You know what I'm saying? It's weird when you think about the fact that like you got to put on like. I don't know. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? It's weird to me.
No, it is. But I'm doing an interview like if I was interviewing you guys as an artist, like, and I want to know more about you.
Exactly.
Like,
I
appreciate those questions about you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna see what you're talking about to me, and then I'm gonna go with it. And that's what I feel like every creative like environment should be. Like, have a start and see where it goes, and just have a plan to guide it. And that's why. The moment these guys wanted to have a podcast, I was like, it's perfect because my podcast was so structured on timing and the most time we could spend on a topic and the topics we must talk about. And like, and there were so many episodes I listened to that I just did not enjoy because it was so cut. And I was trying to fit the format of
and be like
my product. You know what I'm saying? And like, this is perfect because Lester knows exactly what to do with this, exactly where we're going, what we wanted to talk about, and that's why it's like this creative space, this creative environment, like not everybody can tap into this certain thing, like that organic flow of shit.
I was about to say that it got to be organic.
The super dope thing about that, and it kind of even ties everything back in together, is like we recorded the episodes where Quincy got his masters, and it kind of just evolved into like getting into like Quincy and like the things he's been through, especially like getting his masters and like, you know, the trials and tribulations and that. And then when you had got sick, Joe, we were supposed to record with Unc, and then me and Unc ended up recording. It was a dope episode, and I'm still gonna put it out, but we were just really talking about music and like being in the studio and stuff like that. And
I was hating on the Mets too.
Yeah, you some
Jabbingtons. And so after I heard like obviously we recorded that episode with Quincy, but after I heard it when it dropped and then just hearing how people was kind of reacting to it, it's like, dang, we talked about Unc and we talked about him producing some of those records during that time. And we talked about those sessions and what was going on. And then for me and Unc to just come in after without Quincy talking, you know what I'm saying, without the connection of Joe, it just didn't even really make sense. So even just going back to that organic vibe, that's why even like it's so dope that it worked out that we were able to do it again today, all four of us, and get it done early. He was just randomly in my area wrapping something up, like it never happens. So he was here early, you know what I mean? Like it's just crazy how it worked out, and it goes back to the organicness of it, you know what I mean? Like when you're working hard and you're doing stuff for the right reasons, it always seems to fall into place. I feel like if you're doing something and you know that you're working as hard as you're supposed to and nothing is falling into place, something you're doing is wrong. You know what I mean? Because if you're working hard the right way, things will start swinging your way. Not all the time and not everything, but things will start swinging your way because you being ready and just being in those opportunities, something's going to shake.
I agree. 100% agree. It's just the divine energy, just shit. How it's supposed to happen. You're just like, and you know, like the Marvel comics.
It's on God's time, man. Like for real.
Mm-hmm. No, of course, 100%.
Work every single day.
You got to be ready.
Just stay ready, and you're supposed to get it when you're ready. So, and there's times like where I look back, like, yeah, I wasn't ready yet. So I'm glad it didn't happen yet. And there's still some things I'd like to learn before something pops off. You know what I mean? Yep. So
100%. What I was gonna touch on, like that Marvel like Infinity timeline, like not saying that that's what it is, but it's like certain things have to happen before other things happen.
Facts.
In order for those things to hit different, to mean different, to make you act different. And I truly believe where I am at right now to this day, everything had to happen. So if I wanted what I want today, again, in another lifetime, I got to go through all the same shit I went through to get here. Mm-hmm. This is what got me here today, and this is where I want to be. And I'm going to keep getting to that place, but I would have never learned with all that shit that happened.
Right. That's a good point.
Facts, man. Dang, man. Like I said, man, I'm glad we were able to link up and do it the right way, like how we wanted to do it from the beginning, and it just kind of unfolded the right way. Y'all basically gonna take over the podcast for the next, week or two, because we got Ankh and Lou episodes coming out. Ankh, if you want to tap in again to like the projects that you're working on and stuff that you have dropped or are dropping, anything you want to talk about?
Sure. Go keep streaming. It's okay. Everybody seems to really like that one.
Oh yeah.
As well.
I'll pitch it for the Spanish version, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll keep running that up. Hoopty is Hoopty already dropped?
Not yet. So
be on the lookout for that.
Still organizing that one.
I see.
If you call in, it's coming soon.
If you call in,
that one is a slider-roni.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
And then
what was about that session that you were mentioning, like that you were there and it was a dope session?
Yeah, I remember. I was like literally that was right before the whole everything happened. So we were still in that groove. You were working on some solo stuff. I was working on some solo stuff. I was working on. Remember, I was gonna call the album Premonition Vision or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So like I was in that mode. I wasn't even at the Growing Pains phase. But you were working on your solo project with Unc, and I was there for that session, bro. And I remember when you recorded it. I remember how it sounded, and I remember being in the studio like, yo, this junk is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like to hear it 2.5 years later, like about the drop, bro, I'm excited for this one.
That's like one of the first few we ever did.
He tucked this one, and this was still one of my favorite from y'all.
Yeah.
You know,
is that the one that me and Pro collabed on?
Facts.
Yeah.
It's the one that like I always like. Like every time I listen to it, I'm like, yo, this song is fire. It just like something.
No, you called it like we were playing the beat for you, like it's dope, but speed it up, and we sped it up. And then that was him. We're like, okay, now. So you basically helped produce the song too.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't remember too much.
I feel like let's just go into his exec producer bag.
He's about to be Quincy Jones out this bitch.
I think he is. Quincy, Lester, Sanchez, Mathers,
take that right there, move it back. Like that, a quarter step. Thank you, Playboy.
It's funny because check this out. Quincy, to get a little behind the scenes, Quincy's actually working on a track with an artist that wanted him to jump on a record, and the record was super dope. And when Quincy sent it to me, I'm like, yo, like I would like to be involved with this, like even just from the point of view of like helping y'all put it together and put it out. You know what I'm saying? Just because like I hear the potential like in the record, and I'm like, yo, this could be super dope for both of y'all. So it's like it's funny, yo, Joe said that, because even like I've been kind of in that mindset too, because like I like I wanted to get into writing also, but I kind of, with my dabbling in it, I noticed that I don't really like songwriting, you know what I mean? Like it's not really my bag, but maybe like producing or you know, that kind of thing is something that I would like to get into, because I do like to like be involved with the record, you know what I mean? Like I'm kind of like you were saying about Joe, you know what I'm saying? Like I could kind of hear the sounds and know like, yo, is this the one or this is not the one, you know what I mean?
I remember, what was it, when you came back from LA, you said you found the sauce, you found the secret.
Facts, because it's like, and it's something that Unc always talks about too. It's like you just got to keep recording and keep working, because you know you're gonna keep growing, evolving, and stuff's gonna keep getting better. And that's what was going on. Like, you know, I've made music in Atlanta, I've made music in LA. You know what I'm saying? Like we've worked on stuff like music videos and stuff in Denver. So like I've caught a vibe in different places, different studios, different engineers, different people. And it's like you kind of get all those little pieces, and then you start getting to that point where you're like using all of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like super dope. And
that's what they call how you make the sausage. Pause.
Facts. And then when you just hit that pocket, you know, and I feel like pocket is like a word you always hear with like people that make music. Like when they feel like they're in the pocket, it's like, oh, you're like, oh, okay, so you feel like you're in the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that you're doing is fire because you just know what you want, you know? And I feel like that's like a dope little stride that I found with Unc, like with the stuff that we've been doing. Like we found like how to mesh the sounds to make it super dope together. And we just been creating some like super, super dope records that I'm super hyped that they're starting to come out.
For sure, yo. I'm really hyped about, I'm not gonna drop it, but the one you sent me a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, Les. I'm not gonna drop the name just yet. But yeah, no, that's
the one we just did.
Which one?
That one I just played for my wife.
The what do we call that?
Hundo? That one. I'm not gonna say nothing about that. My favorite song at the moment.
On my fault. Did I blow that?
You good?
Did I blow the bag?
I mean, I'm Johnny.
Nah, but like I said, bringing it back.
That and like
crazy. This show right here.
I also want to say I've also got another project that I totally produced by J. Dante and Trends Luciano that's out called Weekend Lover. So it's J. Dante's an R&B singer, Trends is a rapper, and it's like R&B vibes that I made, and they did their thing to it.
Hey, and one of my son's favorite songs, Shoot For Me, Rex Evans and J. Dante.
Yeah.
Every time I throw that song, I told Unc earlier that because my son got a great ear for music too.
Yeah.
And when he heard me play that song the first time in the car, he was like, Daddy, who made this beat? Like the beat just hit him because it's a slider, you know what I'm saying? And they did their thing on that record.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's the guy that makes a lot of my stuff. He made this okay and stuff. And he was like, oh my God. Like,
that made my whole day,
say what's up to Unc. So that was dope for him. He was hype.
Oh, he got to meet him today. That's dope.
Yeah.
That was fire, bro. Made my entire day. But yes, keep streaming that song too.
Yeah.
But like, definitely keep streaming It's Okay and be ready for Hoopty.
Big tune.
For sure.
And look out for the Grounded mixtape. Tune come. I need to stop flopping. You know what?
Drop one on your head top.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna drop it the day the NFL season starts. That's it.
Ooh.
Hey, you said okay.
Exclusive.
I just set the release day. I'm not gonna push it back.
Hey man. So needless to say,
warning.
needless to say, there's a whole bunch of stuff coming from all of us. So stay tuned like y'all been. It's been super dope seeing everything grow. You know what I'm saying? We've been putting out the videos on YouTube every episode, and people have been checking that out. That's super dope. Make sure y'all keep tapping in. You see a lot of us, you know, we're wearing the merch. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of dope stuff dropping. Got some people that already copped some of the stuff. Appreciate it. If you want anything, just hit the DM. And this has been another edition of The Grounded Show.
Stay grounded.
You hear me?